Okay, this is the out of bounds and Nakkai ruins. This is the only one we're currently aware of. Basically, just watch for a little bit and you'll see how it works. When you clear a room of enemies, the door unlocks. So, like, this room is locked and I can't leave right now. But since I just killed the enemy, now the door unlocks. I can go right through. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I just unlocked that room by killing all the enemies here. Now I'm going to also notice how, like, once these doors open, they just stay open. I can freely walk through them, no loading needed. But I'm gonna go through this loading trigger right here, and the enemies don't respawn. So just walk through that loading trigger, and I'm going back to the room where I just unlocked the door, but I didn't go through it. And now my theory is that the room past this only actually, like, fully loads when you kill all the enemies in here. But since the door is unlocked first and I don't need to kill all the enemies, now I can just run right into it and I'm out of bounds. Kind of tap back and forward, you can, like, tell where you are out of bounds by looking on the mini-map. And then you land here. Basically, here's all you need to know about out of bounds from, like, now that you're actually here. Here, I'll just make a save state right now. Okay, so I can drop into this room, and this is, like, the only way I found, like, really cancel the effects of being out of bounds. So I'm in here, I leave, and now I can kill all these assholes. This door opens up, and one thing you should actually note is there should be 3 enemies, like one here, one here, one here. But since I just did that, there are no enemies in here now. And I can just freely, there's a brain cube in there. But the point is, I got rid of all the enemies in here, I just never needed to fight them. Reloading the save though, there's, like, a couple weird things that happen. So right now I'm gonna go to where the pipe is. The pipe is one of the materials you need to make the Bonne bazooka. It's really important in the speedrun. So just, you can see where you're falling and you can control yourself on the mini-map. Actually, this is probably a better example. I'll fall into this room. Oh, I'll get there eventually. Traversing out of bounds kind of sucks. Okay, I'm in. Doors kind of work, like, one way. Also notice there are no enemies in here now. But in the previous room with the brain cube chest, where those enemies just, I was basically made it so I was completely back in bounds and the rest of Nakkai was working as intended. But these enemies, now that they're despawned, it doesn't count as me, like, having cleared this room like it does in the room with the brain cube. Now the enemies just aren't here. And doors work in a very weird way. That's one of the doors where it should just, after you clear that room of enemies and you open this door, it should just stay open. But there should also be a brain cube right here, but there's no brain cube loaded. The only thing loaded is, like, the physical environment and collision. That's the only thing that's actually loaded. Here's the weird part. The doors kind of work one way. How I was able to walk from the past room into this room just fine, I can't actually exit. Some of the doors just won't let you exit. This makes actually finding a use for out of bounds very tricky, because while you can pause and you can retreat, if you retreat from the mission to exit, you don't actually keep your shit. Like, so let's just say the pipe was here, but the door still locked you in like this. You could pick up the pipe, but you couldn't actually leave Nakkai with it. It's kind of a similar thing, like... I'm not sure if I really need to show this off, but I'm gonna show this off because this is like the other spot where this would actually be useful. There's a boss over here, the Refractor Guardian, that you can kill to get Diana's Tear, which gives you 1 million Zenny, which is super awesome in a speedrun. Also, there's a lot of like invisible walls and shit that make traversing out of bounds very awful, and you can just kind of get stuck like I am right now. I've never seen that happen before. But yeah, that's another one-way door. Let me reload this. I've never actually seen that happen before. I like landed in the loading zone. If you're not familiar with Tron Bonne, but you're familiar with the other Mega Man Legends games, doors in Tron Bonne are unique. You don't interact with the door to open them. In Tron Bonne, this game actually specifically has loading zones, like just loading triggers. If you enter the loading zone, you just like automatically load, or you open the door, or you just like walk into the load trigger. But yeah, basically like going through that door, going along that path, this is a one-way door, so that's why I'm not dropping down it, because if I tried to like drop down in there and go through that door, it wouldn't let me. Oh, I really don't want to. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because I wasn't going to show much anyway. You'll get the point. But yeah, you can enter the boss room. Oh, I forgot. Sometimes this happens. I'm not sure. Like, sometimes instead of being a one-way door, it just drops you out of bounds. But yeah, here, this is what I just wanted to show. There should be the boss here to kill to get Diana's Tear, but it's not loaded like everything else in the game. Or not everything else in the game, but the rest of the dungeon. So without actually being able to get Diana's Tear in here, and without being able to get the like pipe, and with no way to really exit, there's no real use for out of bounds right now. But I feel like since the way Nakkai works is it's split up into separate areas with those loading triggers, if you could find a way to like load a separate area of Nakkai and then do stuff like get out of bounds while you've got everything in that area loaded, if that's even a possibility, then you could actually do stuff out of bounds and it would be extremely useful. And it'd be just like a really great way to skip a bunch of stuff in this game. Because like there are a lot of encounters in Nakkai, since the door's locked and you need to kill all the enemies. There's a lot of areas that are just really slow for which should be obvious reasons. So if you could just skip things and have it just preloaded, like there should be a chest right there, but there's not, since it's not loaded yet. So if you could figure out a way to like actually load Diana's Tear or the chest, and then you could leave, then that'd be awesome. And it should also be noted that the actual exit for Nakkai is not a one-way thing. So even when you're out of bounds, you can still just exit Nakkai. So the only door is the one you just saw there. This is the only place I found where you can get out of bounds. This was a really long-winded and lengthy explanation, but basically the point I'm getting down to is if you could find a way to do this in a different spot where you could end up getting Diana's Tear or the pipe, then this would be an extremely useful time-saving trick. So just more research needs to be done. It's my little video explaining it all. And yes, this can be done on console. I should have mentioned this at the start of the video, but this has been tested on, well, not console specifically, but it's been tested on the PSN version, and it works. PSN is technically an emulator. We will know if it works on console very, very soon, but even if it works on the PSN version, it would be neat to run on the PSN version to do this trick specifically, if it is useful. So the Legends community, we're still looking into this. It's mainly just me right now, but if other people want to look into this, it's here. This is a cool game. If there was a big sequence break, it'd be really neat. Alright, thanks for watching.